beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you very much. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Del Rebouche is going to give us our invocation.
Lord, may everything we do begin with your inspiration and continue with your saving help. Let our work always find its origin in you, and through you reach completion. You have given these students among us today all the talents, abilities, and spiritual gifts they need to follow a plan for their lives. Lord, help them use those gifts to serve a greater good with a fully realized spirit of service above self, so that their lives will be full and productive. Lord, fill their lives with trusted teachers and advisors who can lead them toward their lives' goals. Help them turn to you as they learn and grow so they can indeed lead fruitful and prosperous lives. Amen.
Thank you, Daryl. Joe Littlejohn is going to introduce our guests.
Good afternoon. We have an awful lot of guests today, but most of them will be introduced later on with the program. First, Terry Hayes has a guest. Terry?
My guest today is Jim Kowalski. Jim, if you'll please stand so we can all see you. He is a Government Relations Vice President and the Corporate Lead Executive in Bossier City for Northrop Grumman.
Lionel Eltis has a guest.
I've got my daughter, Sandra Weiss, and Sandra was here a couple of years ago, and she was made a Paul Harris Fellow at the time, so she's making up for Miss Meal.
Yeah. Thanks for having me back.
Thank you, Sandra. Alan Prater has a guest. Alan? I think it's on, Alan, just a little closer to the...
My guest today is my wife, Rachel Scott.
And Henry Coutre has a guest.
My guest is my son, John, who's here visiting.
We have one visiting Rotarian from the Red River Club, Brad Perry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. And Del Rebouche has our March birthdays with his usual wit.
You set unfair expectations. It does remind me of a story, though. My mother-in-law just reached a milestone birthday. It ends in a 0, I won't tell you what. But they had this big general reunion with a bunch of people all about that age. And there was this one lady there who most of them hadn't seen since high school. That'd been a long, long time. So they were asking her, catch me up on your life. And she said, well, I've been married 4 times. Everybody's a little bit taken aback by that. Most of these ladies were kind of Christian conservative, married once kind of ladies. 4 times. And she said, yeah, but it was a very well-planned strategy. I said, wait a minute, how can 4 marriages be a well-planned strategy? She said, well, my first marriage was to a millionaire, and my second marriage was to an actor, and my third marriage was to a preacher, And now I'm married to a guy who owns funeral homes. And they said, well, how in the world is that a plan? And she said, well, 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and now 4 to go. There you go. Those of you celebrating your birthdays in March are: on the 3rd, Gene Bryson; on the 8th, Bobby Madison; on the 9th, Martha Merrick and Vance Bales; Amy Hollister on the 12th; James Blewett and Lawrence Calhoun on the 13th; Robert McGowan on the 14th; Leslie Quinn on St. Patrick's Day; Margaret Gaskins on the 19th; Alan Tipton and Joe Cooper share the 21st; Rodney Ellis on the 22nd; Devore Polyak on the 24th. On the 26th is Tom Jackson and Robert Grand, and we round out the month of March with Hoyt Bain celebrating his birthday on the 29th. And now, with the maestro's help, we will serenade you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. And don't step on my blue suede shoes. Thanks a lot.
Don't give up your day job, Daryl. Just a few announcements for you. Next week, we're going to meet in Exhibit Hall 1, which is on the 1st floor. Yes, there will be great signage showing us all where we're supposed to go on the way. The blood drive will be next Tuesday also, and they'll be set up in the room adjacent to Exhibit Hall 1. On your tables, you've got 2 invitations there. The first is for March 17th, which is a Saturday, Rotary Day at CADA, Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse. That is not a program, that is not a project, that is us going and touring their facility and hearing how they do what they do. This is their way of saying thank you for the civic grant that they received from us. I've been through this before. It's a very fascinating discussion and information that they share with us. On March 22nd, which is Thursday, BIPC has their Rotaract Recruitment Day. The people that were there last time said it was absolutely fantastic and very inspiring to see all the young people that were there interested in Rotary. So you're all invited to attend. The top 3 projects, as you remember, we have this push to get some really great ideas for the next big community service project that we do. So after all the submittals were reviewed by the selection committee, the top 3 are Rotary Club of Shreveport Brain Bus, proposed by Martha Merrick and Laurie Boswell; Academy of Excellence, proposed by Vernie Howard and Dawn Howard; and Urban Green Space in Shreveport Common, proposed by Joe Littlejohn. Instead of me telling you what these projects are about, ask them. Start supporting the one that you think is the most viable. Help them get their final proposal ready, which will be due in just under 3 months. And they turn those in, they get judged, and then we end up picking the top 1. So ask them, find out what it's about. They're amazing projects that have been proposed already. Last announcement, our club board will meet today right next door in room 209 following this luncheon. And at this point, I'd like to call up Alan Prater, who's going to handle the scholarships for us. Thank you, Alan, for all the work you do on this. He is a master at planning the scholarship program and coordinating it and everything like that. Let's give a round of applause for Alan.
Thank you for the kind words, Terry. This is actually a toupee that I'm wearing because I was running around with my hair on fire earlier, trying to be masterful and get everything going here. With a hot microphone. Well, what a wonderful day. We do this once a year. We have the opportunity to see 6 snapshots of young life in our community, 6 students that we are helping on their way through our club scholarship program. This scholarship program is one that has been going on for about the last 35 or 40 years. It is so old that Harold Denny was the first chair. Is Harold here? I wanted to thank him personally for getting this off the ground back in the late 60s, early 70s. Back then, he said our club gave $300 scholarships, and we were giving them to only 3 schools. Today, we will be honoring 6 schools, including for the first time Bossier Parish Community College. The process is that the schools are asked to send to the scholarship committee 3 students. We trust them to rely on their own internal process to provide us with essentially 3 finalists from their school who meet the criteria that we have given them for the selection process, which includes the student exhibits excellent scholarship, that they are in the top 15% of their class, that they have a need for the financial aid, and that they, most importantly really, exhibit service above self, something that they do to reach out beyond themselves. It is a process that actually begins in October when the solicitations for the applications are made, and culminates in mid to late January with our Club Scholarship Committee voting for their selections. Our committee this year had 23 members on it, and they were in your Rotary Post, but I want to thank them from the podium. Wes Attaway, George Bukowski, Taylor Brown, David Cromwell, Pat Day, Catherine Dora, Mike Farrell, Don Howard, Milton Hutchinson, Charlotte Jones, Ken Kruger, Robert McGowan, Renee Petrie, Kermit Bowling, Darrell Rabouche, Gil Shanley, Stephanie Sievers, Amanda Simpson, Erica Thomas, John Tuggle, Merrill Watlett, Deborah Williams, and David Wimberly. So let's just give them a hand, if you would, please. They managed to put up with me. It's one of the reasons it's helpful to do all of our Club Scholarship Committee work electronically, so that they cannot reach through a wire and strangle me while I try to bring all this stuff together. Today we honor our scholarship winners, but we also would like to recognize their guests. At the Bossier Parish Community College table, we have our winner, Andre Carter. We have, hold your applause per school, and let's just hold our applause. We'll give everybody a round of applause when we're done. We have Dr. Rick Bateman, who is the Chancellor. We have Lavette Carter, our winner's mother. We have Kelly McDade, faculty advisor for Rotaract, Tiffany Sandifer, staff advisor for Rotaract, Hannah Cook, the digital communications coordinator for BIPC, and our presenter, Erica Thomas, our own member. Dr. Bateman, of course, is also a member of our club. At the centenary table, we have our winner, Ian Nairn. We have our club member, Dr. Chris Holloman, who is the president of Centenary. Our winner's mother, Elisa Nairn. Lynette Viskoski, Director of Financial Aid, and our own Deborah Williams, who will be doing the introduction. At LSU Health Sciences Center, we have our winner, Miriam Henry. We have Dr. Mark Platt, Assistant Dean of Student Affairs. Laura McCowiak, did I get that right? McCowiak? Coordinator of the Office of Student Affairs, and our own Stephanie Sievers, who will do the introduction. At LSU Shreveport, we have our winner, Breonna Chambers. We have Dr. Larry Clark, who's Chancellor. We have Chelsea Weatherly, Director of Financial Aid. We have LaShawna Chambers, her mother. We have Kedrick Chisholm, a family friend, and our own Kermit Poling, who is going to do the introduction. And from Northwestern, we have Joseph Michael, who is our scholarship winner. Jennifer Michael, his wife. We have Whitney House, who is the Director of Student Services, and Judge Catherine Dora, who is going to do the introduction. And from Southern University, we have our winner, Tamaria Brisker, Dr. Ronald Ellis, our club member, who is Chancellor, Annette Brown, the mother of our winner, Charity Brown, her grandmother, Katreya Williams, Director of Financial Aid, Dr. Alan Jackson Jr., Assistant Financial Aid Director, and our own Don Howard, who is going to do our introduction. So if we could just give them a round of applause. So this year, we will go in reverse alphabetical order. And that means that I would like to call on Don Howard, who will introduce our winner from Southern University, Tamaria Brisker.
Good afternoon. Ms. Brisker, join me please, ma'am. As she's making her way to the stage, I just want to reiterate what Terry said as far as I've been on a lot of committees inside and outside of Rotary and served on a lot of scholarship committees, and Alan Prater is the best cat herder I've ever met in my life. He really does make a very daunting task extremely easy and user-friendly, considering the amount of information that we have to review. So again, hats off to Alan for leading this process. We do a lot as a club, as a Shreveport Rotary Club, and now also as an international organization, but I want to personally say that this day, I think, is one of the most impactful activities that this club is involved in, because we are touching real lives who are making impact in our community. And again, I want to say hats off to us as a club, as members, for doing this. So without further ado, we all have Ms. Tamaria Brisker. Tamaria is a graduate of Red River High School in Coshada, Louisiana. She attained a 3.6 GPA while in high school, playing softball for 4 years, serving as the captain of the team for 2 years. And while she was twiddling her thumbs, she was selected first team all-district as well as team MVP. Prior to going into high school, the family suffered a tragic loss when her father passed. Her junior year in high school, she got a job as a CNA in order to help mom with the household finance, as well as to pay for all of that stuff you have to buy during senior year. She, I think, found her calling at that point. Excuse me. I think she was trying to find a job, but she actually got her calling while she was doing it. While serving as a CNA, she had an opportunity to work with individuals and work with families, to help those families and help those individuals with their healthcare needs. And as a result of that, she applied to Southern University at Shreveport, and she was accepted into the nursing program. And so she says that she feels like nursing is her calling. She was very excited when she received her acceptance letter for Sussler's nursing program. And while serving as a student, she has attained a 3.75 GPA. She volunteers at the registrar's office assisting students who are applying. She helps them with the paperwork, answers those questions, and makes sure that she can help them make a smooth transition into the college. She says that service above self is something that she lives out on a daily basis. You're not entitled to making only yourself happy or satisfied, but also making sure that your peers are safe and satisfied. When I saw that she was the team MVP, and I saw what she's done in her young life, helping out her mom, and I think we introduced her as a grandmother, but I think those are twin sisters sitting down there. But I know that they are proud. I know that Dr. Rodney Ellis, as our chancellor, is proud that we're going to present to Tamaria Brisker this scholarship. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a big hand for what she is doing and what she plans to do. And right now, she's teetering between, once she completes that SUSLA, she's teetering between ULL and Northwestern. So if you all have some connections, let them know that this is a sharp student, and we want to get her a great package to keep her on her career path, where she will ultimately become a family nurse practitioner, and she wants to serve in a low-income community to be able to give back to her community. Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
No, just say thanks.
You're welcome to.
Well, I would like to say thanks to everybody. Thanks to my mom and my grandma for always being by my side and never giving up on me. And thanks to God, not last, but always first.
And this is a power event for your time. Thank you. My brain is a dangerous place for me to go alone. Dr. Ellis, did I introduce you when I went through the folks for Southern? Yeah. Good. Okay, see, that's why I have... Always helpful to introduce the chancellor, who's a member of your club. That's why I have sticky notes all over the house. So our next winner will be introduced by Judge Catherine Dora from the Northwestern University School of Nursing and Allied Health. Judge Dora adjourned her jury trial. Come on up, Mr. Martin. Adjourned her jury trial so that she could be here to present this award to Mr. Joseph Michael.
All right, I want to echo what Don said about Alan Prater. He does make this process very easy and very simple, and I appreciate his hard work. And it's an honor for me to serve on this committee. I am a third-generation Rotarian, and back in 1977, I received a Rotary Scholarship from my local Rotary Club in East Haven, Connecticut. It was a $500 scholarship. I visited with Joe the other day, and I told him I couldn't remember how much it was, but I remembered it was $125 a year, and I could buy my books with it. So I'm just aging myself there, dating myself, but in any event, let me introduce to you Joe Michael. He's, as Alan said, a student at Northwestern State University. He's pursuing an associate's degree in nursing. He will graduate in May of 2019. After graduation, he plans to continue his education after first pursuing a career as an emergency room nurse, and he wants to obtain his bachelor's degree in nursing as well. I had the pleasure of meeting Joe last week over coffee, and I asked him if there was one thing that he wanted me to tell you all about him, what would that be? And he said that he is dedicated. And after visiting with him, I'm a true believer. He's a dedicated husband to his wife Jennifer, who's here with him today. He's a dedicated father to his daughter Sydney, age 5, and to his son Preston, age 1. Further evidence of Joe's dedication is the fact that he returned to school at the age of 34. He calls himself a non-traditional student, but juggling school with a family and other commitments is certainly admirable. In addition, he maintains his GPA of over a 3.1 grade point average, and he also runs marathons, completed and competed in an Ironman race. So if that's not the definition of dedication, I don't know what is, because I can't run anywhere. In addition, in my opinion, Joe epitomizes the phrase of service above self. He served our country in the Air Force and was deployed to Qatar in 2003. And ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to present this scholarship to Joseph Michael today. Congratulations.
Thank you guys for having me and all the other contestant winners, I guess I should say. Very humbled and excited to receive this. It's a great honor, and I promise not to let you guys down. As a side note, keep the Dragon Boat race going. I look forward to that every year, if we can get it back. But thank you.
He's a former winner.
And a power bank for your phone. Thank you very much. Kermit Poling will introduce our winner from LSU Shreveport, Brianna Chambers.
I don't want to make it seem like we have a bunch of cheerleaders here for Alan, but I've got to say, nobody handles a committee better than anyone I've met, and it's a real privilege to serve on this, and also for the second year in a row to introduce the students selected from LSU Shreveport, because of course, with Red River Radio, I'm associated with the school, and this is a thrill for me to be able to be a part of that. I want to introduce to you Brianna Chambers, who is at LSUS majoring in criminal justice, having previously attended Grambling, and I'll say a little bit about that. But before she was at LSUS, she was at Byrd High School, so those of you who are Byrd fans. She was on the honor roll every year she was there with a 3.6 average, so already from a young age, showing her dedication as a student. She maintains a 3.7 average at LSUS. And when I saw that she was a major in criminal justice, I was thinking, oh, well, maybe she wants to be an attorney or something like that. But in fact, her career goal is to gain a clinical social worker license, which I think goes so well with our idea of service above self. In addition to her studies at LSUS, she works in the Knoll Library. She's in archives and special collections, so she has responsibility for some of those very precious and rare items in there. A senator on the Student Government Association, chair of Student Affairs, and her on the applications, students are asked to compare their philosophy with the philosophy that we have as Rotarians. What I really like in the idea of service above self is she summed it up in 3 words. It's love in action, which I think really is what it's all about. Maybe we ought to adopt that as a secondary phrase. But what she really wants to do is go into public service and operate her own nonprofit, among other things, for refugees in underdeveloped countries, and otherwise aid underdeveloped countries, which definitely is definitely public service. She references in her application her desire to work with organizations that help to free the Libyan slaves in Africa, which she says is much easier said than done. Closer to home, though, she would like to be working to help the homeless in our own country, and we certainly have organizations in our own community that would probably benefit from having such a talented young woman as part of that. And it's really clear from her application and from just a little bit of conversation that we have that she sees service above self as a mission in her own life. So please, again, welcome on behalf of all of us and congratulate Brianna Chambers.
I would like to thank my family for being here and supporting me, and Dr. Larry Clark, who is the Chancellor of LSUS, and Ms. Chelsea, who works in financial aid. And I would like to say to the Rotary Club members, thank you for the scholarship, because it really does help. Thank you.
Thank you. Our winner from LSU Health Sciences Center is Miriam Henry, who will be introduced by Stephanie Sievers.
guess I too will say thank you to Alan. At this point, we're all going to do it now. It's going to be a thing. We're going to start that way. But no, thank you. And then it's a privilege to be part of this committee. There are a lot of amazing people, and it's an honor to introduce one of them. So I'm introducing Miriam Henry. She is our recipient from the Health Science Center. And her resume is extensive. It's truly amazing. She is got a 4.0. She is 4th in her class. Although I don't know how you get 4th if you're 4.0. I feel like you should all just be tied for 1st. I don't know what's better than that. I didn't get that high, so I don't know. So that's fine. So there's that. But okay, so what's really interesting is her choice, right? So it's microsurgery, and I didn't actually understand what that was. It's plastics and microsurgery, so I understood the plastics part. But I didn't understand the microsurgery part, and so when I was asking her about it, she said that it's mostly for reconnecting blood vessels. I'm probably like not doing this correctly, but reconnecting those blood vessels, and it's done a lot of times after trauma or cancer patients. And so I thought, well, that's the home for me because we've had a lot of cancer in our family, and specifically breast cancer. And so we were talking a lot about that. And there isn't a place in the region that specializes in this at all. So the nearest place you'd have to go is to Dallas, or you can go down to New Orleans. And so having somebody who would want to come back to the area to bring a specialty that would help so many people, providing hope and better care, is amazing. Right? You know, I'm definitely encouraging her to come back. And she said that hopefully after her 6-year residency and then possibly a 1-year fellowship, in 7 years, we're going to get her back, which is great because I am looking forward to her coming back home. But she's not just that, she's also an author. I don't know if you consider yourself that, but she published every single year. And so I'm thinking even actual authors who, that's their main job, don't even publish every single year. That's amazing. What also is amazing about her, which we had to kind of pry out of her, she didn't want to brag on herself, but it's really awesome, is she had to turn down interviews for residency. So you think about that, and there's some people who don't even get, you know, if you could just not even get one. And then Miriam was lucky enough to have so many people vying for her, so I asked her, so how do you decide who doesn't make your cut, right? Like now you're on the other side of that. You get to choose who makes the cut for you. And she's like, well, I don't really like the cold. So those guys had to go. And I support that plan. Also, what I thought was, I fly a lot. So any of you who also fly, she was saying, yeah, and if they're not really close to their airport, you know, even in Louisiana, we don't even have to drive 70 miles to get to where I'm going after you land. And I'm thinking like, exactly. So I love that. I love her. I think that she's qualified in so many ways, and I'm super supportive of having her back in 7 years. So I want y'all to help me congratulate Miriam Henry. Soon to be Dr. Miriam Henry.
Thank you all so much for having me today and all the other wonderful people that have won these other scholarships. It really means a lot to us. I've been going to school now for a really long time, and it's not yet over. And I can just tell you that any little amount or large amount really goes a long way and really helps us out. So we all definitely thank you for that. I think the motto of Rotary, the service above self, is something that, you know, it's such an easy thing to incorporate in your life. And I think the medical field, as a lot of other applicants have shown, really feeds itself into that motto. So I think it's really important to keep supporting people that want to go into healthcare and all these other social work and really great things in the community that they can bring back one day and really help out. So I just thank you guys so much, and I appreciate it, and I'll be back in hopefully 7 years.
Congratulations, Lieutenant, and a power bank for your father.
Deborah Williams will introduce our winner from Centenary College, Mr. Ian Nairn. So come on up. It's so funny, you know, after the Oscars thing, I pull an envelope out, you know, I got to make sure it's, you know.
Well, like the others, I will say thank you to Alan, because it was a simple process for us as the committee members, but it took a lot of work on his part. We just had to do a lot of reading and thinking about the scholarship recipients. Well, today it's my pleasure to introduce you to the scholarship recipient from Centenary College, Mr. Ian Nairn. Ian is scheduled to graduate in May with a degree in biology and neuroscience. His current GPA is an impressive 3.72. Upon graduation, Ian plans on entering medical school to become a physician. He's been accepted here locally, so he's all set to go. He believes his career path will provide him the opportunity to help others in an exciting yet challenging field. I personally told Ian he should consider geriatrics because there's the need for that in this area. One of Ian's professors shared with the scholarship committee that Ian interacts well with other students and that he has a positive attitude throughout stressful situations. She stated there's no doubt that he's prepared to succeed in medical school and as a physician. And I want to talk now, Ian understands the meaning behind the phrase service above self, and I'd like to share with you briefly a few things that stood out on his application. While a student at Parkway, Ian participated in RILA camp, and I asked him about that, and he said it made a big impact on his life. So we have one of our, I don't know which club he came out of, but he went to RILA, and it made a big impact because he said the one thing, and we've heard about, is you have to give up your cell phone. And so you have to interact with other people, and you get outside of your comfort zone. He said it was a great experience. Ian's been active in many organizations throughout high school and college, and I asked him why he chose Centenary, because he did go to Hendricks for 1 year to play football, but I think always his intent was biology, right? So he had some positive interactions with Centenary, their biology department, but the one thing that he said stood out with Centenary was the opportunity for volunteer work here with medical field. And they had told him he would have those opportunities, and he did. He is extremely passionate about his healthcare volunteer work. While at Centenary, Ian's been involved with 3 different groups: the Martin Luther King Healthcare Center, the Pool Asylum Medical Ministry, and St. Luke's Mobile Medical Ministry. Ian believes that not only has he made a difference in the community by working with these organizations, but he feels like the experiences have provided him with many valuable medical skills, such as patient interaction and communication. As he stated, "As I give back to the community, I realize that the community is still giving to me." Ian has had to make many sacrifices to be able to volunteer with these organizations and maintain his GPA. He values his volunteer experiences and encourages others to do the same to make Shreveport a better place. So Ian, we congratulate you and wish you the best of luck. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for the many blessings that He's given to me. I'd like to thank my parents and Centenary College for really making me the man that I am today, and especially the Rotary Club for this scholarship. This scholarship doesn't only show a commitment to my education; it shows a commitment to the education of the Shreveport community, which I think is important. So thank you so much.
And another thing for your phone.
Thank you so much.
Erica Thomas will introduce our winner from Bossier Parish Community College, Mr. Andre Carter.
Hello, everyone. So I will go ahead and say it was a pleasure working with Ms. It was a very easy process, and those of you who were on the committee, you all know those were some very thick applications that we had to review, and I really wish we could have awarded everyone, but we had some very, very, very good people. It is my pleasure to introduce the recipient for the first time for Bossier Parish Community College Rotary Club and Shreveport Scholarship, Andre Lamar Carter. And I don't know if it's the etiquette consultant in me, I think he has great posture, Terry. Do you agree? It's probably the military in him that he has great posture. He is a full-time student studying mechanical engineering, and he also works full-time for Coca-Cola. He is engaged to Maria Hester, and he is served in the Air Force for the past 6 years and is currently a senior airman, soon to be named Staff Sergeant. Kelly McDade, Associate Professor and Faculty Advisor for Rotary Club, says, I have come to know Andre through the Rotary Club of Bossier Parish Community College in meetings and in service, where he is enthusiastic and an active participant. I know he is also a member of the Student Government Association, a former Maroon Jacket, and that he volunteers at his church. Working alongside Andre, I have found him to be respectful, timely, and fully present to the task at hand. When asked what the phrase service above self means to him in his application, he stated service above self means to be of service to others, to aid in any way possible, to be a beacon of light, to be someone others can depend on and count on. It is a selfless act that can become contagious and cultivate a world of giving people, leaving none without. My interpretation of self above self is purpose. I feel that it is my purpose in life to serve others through as many avenues as possible. One example of my enactment upon this conviction is joining the U.S. Air Force Reserve. By joining the Air Force, I am able to assist my brothers and sisters in arms to protect the freedoms that we all enjoy. Watching my family members make the ultimate sacrifice and leaving family behind is a testament of how they value others over themselves. The Air Force core values reinforce what my parents had instilled in me, which were integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all that we do. He is in the U.S. Air Force Reserve, Bossier Parish Community College Rotary Club, Student Government Association, Sigma Kappa Delta. He is a Maroon Jacket Service Organization member, and he's in the English Honor Society. He was named a distinguished graduate for the Air Force and has volunteered for Word of God Ministries, the Teen Challenge Program, and Goodwill. He is also a true artist. He is a visual artist because he can draw, and he is a musical artist because he plays the trombone. And actually, his fiance is actually an artist too because she is a poet, and they actually met at the Naked Bean when she was performing spoken word poetry. Mr. Carter's future career goals are to become a mechanical engineer with a concentration in project management. Please help me welcome and congratulate, for the first time, the recipient of Bossier Parish Community College, the Rotary Club of Shreveport Scholarship for Andre Lamar Carter.
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, I would like to give honor to the Lord for leading and guiding me throughout my life, my mother, the wonderful institution of Bossier Parish Community College staff and faculty. I just would like to thank you and the Rotary Club of Shreveport. I really appreciate the opportunity to receive this blessing, and I will put it forth to, like I said, help out the community as best as I can. I thank you again. I'm humbled. Thank you.
And the power bank for your phone. Thank you. Congratulations. Well, those are your students. It's terrific to be able to see, as I say, these snapshots of 6 young lives as they go out to set the world on fire and support other people, to work with their hands in a surgery suite, to become a clinical social worker, to become a mechanical engineer, and all the other things that we have seen as their dreams and their goals, which our dues have helped them to do by funding these scholarships. I'd like to thank the committee. Actually, this year, the process of herding 23 or 24 cats was a little bit easier than it has been in the past year. So perhaps y'all are getting used to how anal your committee chair can be sometimes. So thank you for putting up with me. Terry, I'll turn this back over to you. Thank you so much.
Alan, in case you don't know, we appreciate the hard work that you do. Vernie, would you mind handling the drawings for us? Thank you. While she's on her way up, I wanted to let you know that we're doing a program honorarium this month to Step Forward, a local organization that focuses on regional collaborations to deliver positive results for children from cradle to career.